Hi, this is Jonathan Rosenhead, Jerusalem psychotherapist. This week's Torah and Psychology post for Parshas Tazria-Metzora is titled "The Body Keeps the Score." We read and we learn about the concept of saras. And saras, on a superficial level, seems to be a physical illness. A physical sign appears on a person's body. They then have to go into quarantine, keep away from other people, perhaps not to infect other people. And these are all ideas and a concept that we are all too familiar with nowadays, as unfortunately we've been through a whole period of coronavirus and quarantine and infection. These are terms that we are familiar with. But saras is not a physical illness. A person cannot be defined as having saras until they've seen the kohen. And the kohen says, yes, these are signs on your body of saras. And before that, they don't have saras. And this tells us that a person who has saras has a spiritual illness, not a physical illness. And it's a spiritual illness that manifests through the body. So based on this idea, I'd like to see how it connects to psychology. So the research into trauma teaches us that trauma is both a psychological illness, a psychological disorder, and a physical illness in a way. There's a leading researcher in trauma called Bessel van der Kolk, and he wrote a book called The Body Keeps the Score. And in this book, in the theory that he tries to explain, he says that when a person experiences trauma, the intense emotions that they experience are translated into physiological response. The body tries to respond and to recover immediately through this trauma, and it's not able to. And this accentuates and heightens the physiological stress response. And that's why we see the heart palpitations, the hyperarousal, the pain that the person might experience in different parts of the body. And this pain and physiological response can be ongoing. It can continue after the trauma until a person recovers from the traumatic experience. And therefore, the research into therapeutic techniques into trauma has identified different techniques that try to heal the body, such as the mindfulness, using breathing exercises, somatic experiencing, that the person uses the physiological sensations as a way to work through the trauma, and also EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. And these are all trauma therapies that use the body as a way to heal, because the message is that the body keeps the score. And once the body is able to heal, the physiological stress response will decrease and the person will be able to move on after the trauma. So how does this relate to saras? So saras and trauma are both, as we said, they are spiritual or psychological illnesses that manifest through the body. And they are a message to the person. Saras is a message to the person that they need to improve and they need to make a change, possibly because they spoke Lashon Hara. And trauma is a message from the body to a person that they have been through trauma, and the person needs to heal. The body needs to heal. And these are messages that the body is sending to the person. Have a great Shabbos and keep well.